Good morning, everyone, and welcome to February. You made it. 1 month. Congratulations. It is past the first month of 2016, and you're still here, and it's great, and it's wonderful having you. And it's February 1st, a whole new month full of adventure and excitement and joy and mystery and February. Lots and lots of February. So, hi. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Can we appreciate this? This is beautiful. It's February now. Go on, appreciate it. Good. Okay. Now. Sorry, I just need to come down a little bit. Alright, welcome to February. It's beautiful. Okay. Today's topic. I'm going to be talking about a personal conflict of mine in my philosophy of how the world works and how we should treat people and everything. And, here we go. So, one of my biggest issues I've had to settle within myself and my philosophy is this idea of doing things that could be considered bad, that could be considered immoral, such that, at the end, everything turns out alright. Ends justify the means. Then, on the other side, you have the idea that you should always do, in the moment, the most definite good, because if we always justify all our acts by saying, well, they'll turn out in the end alright, then we're just as bad as people that are doing bad anyway. So, it may seem pretty cut and dry at the moment to some of you, which direction you think makes sense. But let's phrase it using some classical arguments for one or the other. Here is a traditional one. So you have two people on one track, on this train line. You have this train line going. It splits into two tracks, and on one track you have two people who are tied to the tracks. And on the other side, you have one person. So, you have a switch in the middle that you have control over. Which way do you send the train? Well, to many people it seems very cut and dry. Well, you send it at the one person, because if someone's going to die anyway, we might as well make it one person over two people. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. And yeah, that's personally where I tend to align myself. Then there comes arguments saying, well, what if two people on one length of track and the one person, the two people are criminals. They're terrible, awful people, rape, murder, steal, thief, whatever. And the person on the other track is a doctor who is renowned for their ability to heal people in gruesome situations, whatever. Point is, you have one individual who is considered traditionally very good, and two people who are considered traditionally bad. Do you switch the train to take out two individuals who one could argue haven't been doing any good for the world, or do you move it to take out one individual who one might think could still do a lot to help people, to help save the world? Personally, where I align myself, I give value to life on not on the basis of what the individual does, but on the basis of the individual themselves. The problem doesn't arise, for me, in, well, these people do bad things and this person does good things. The question comes then, are you indirectly saving more people by saving the doctor? For me, that is one problem I haven't fully made peace with yet. I would still... No, I can't even say I'd lean towards either, because frankly I'm kind of stumped. If I had to make the decision in a second, I would probably say that I move it to take out the criminals. But at the same time, I feel one can't make that decision to judge someone for their actions. So I'd have to base it purely off of the hope that this doctor would continue on to save more people's lives. A perhaps more cut and dry version of what my biggest issue with the idea of ends justifying the means is you have two individuals starving in the middle of the forest, and they both have weapons of some sort. There is a box of food lying in the middle of the road, and they both come up to the box, and they both point their weapons at each other and say, "Hey, I'm starving to death, and there's food here, and there could be enough for both, but you're probably going to kill me." So the question comes then, there are three ways I can see this playing out. One way in which one person kills the other and says, well, they would have killed me. Crap, that would have been horrible. At least I got the food, and, it's a shame, but it's what you have to do. The second scenario, in which both of them kind of talk themselves down and say, hey, I'm not going to kill you, let's share the food. And the third scenario, in which the other person kills the first person. So there's that. In my mind, the best situation would be where they share the food, for very obvious reasons, being that none of them died. And that's where people who draw the argument that ends justifying the means isn't a good way to go. Some people draw that argument, saying that if I do bad in order to do good, I'm not giving the other person the opportunity to do good. By saying, this person is pointing a weapon at me, I am going to kill them before they can kill me because they were going to kill me anyway. Doesn't that make you just as bad as the person you thought them to be? So, in my mind, the thought of not giving someone a chance to do good, and going out and killing them, or going out and harming them, or hurting them, or doing evil against them, or doing bad, again, evil's a great term, doing immoral things against them, in order to do good, without giving them the opportunity to do good, is a greater fault than allowing bad things to happen to you, in my mind. So the question comes then, what if you have a person who is wearing a bomb or something, and they're in a crowd of people, and they say, don't stand any closer, I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to blow this up anyway, but if you get closer, I'll blow it up while you're here. The question then comes, do you stop them with force? Do you say if you shot them, they wouldn't be able to put off the bomb? Do you shoot the individual before they have the opportunity to kill the hundreds around them? In my ideal sense, I would say we need to give them the opportunity to do good. And say, hey buddy, put the bomb down, let's go get a coffee. Practically, is it fair to put hundreds of people at risk like that? Just because one individual has made the mistake to go and threaten them like that? So, that's the hard part, for me, is making my peace with the idea of doing evil. I still don't think it's the ideal solution. The problem being that, in some ways, someone needs to take a step back and be practical. I don't want to tell people that the only way to get things done is to take away the opportunity for other people to do good. But in situations where there are the stakes are very high, and giving the person the opportunity to do harm, perhaps one does need to take that action. I'm a pacifist, so that's a hard thing for me to do. But it's something I'm struggling with, and it's something we're still working towards every day, me, myself, and I. So maybe it's something you'll resolve, maybe it's something I'll resolve in the future, but it's just something to be thinking about. How can I best do good in the world? Because one can have very good intentions, one can go and want to do good things, and by not thinking about it, by taking incorrect approaches, can actually do a good amount of harm. So if you're thinking about doing good, that's good, great, go do it. But think about how you're doing it. think about how you plan to do it. Work out the philosophy behind your actions before you get to the end of your actions. It's the most efficient way, the safest way, and possibly the best way to be doing things. So, that's my point for today, telling you that I don't know this thing. Anyway, hope to give you some material today. Welcome again to February. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to catch you tomorrow, February 2nd. So, I'll see you around. Goodbye, everyone.